What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now Plus. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about the cruel, sad death of Friday the 13th. No, in reality, look, I kind of want to have a reflective kind of talk with you guys on Friday the 13th. Let's quickly go over the news, though, because this happened, obviously, 2 days ago. I tweeted it out. I didn't make a video right away. I kind of gave it a day, and I wanted to do it here. Pretty much, the game, for all intents and purposes, is done. It's dead. It's finished. You can still play it. You will still be able to play it. But pretty much you're going to have to set up like your own thing. You're going to have people that you know that are going to play it. The game will probably still survive in that way through just that means. I'm sure the Ohm Wreckers of the world, right? Who I love Ohm. Ohm is one of the reasons that I feel like this game became so. I mean, there was obviously Delirious and a lot of other people that played this game, but I personally watched Ohm play this game a lot. I played this game like crazy. I'm sure like if he wants to do a Friday the 13th video, right, for his channel, he could find people to all play together, right? Some maybe Twitch people like Momo or, whoever. I'm sure he could figure it out, right? But for all intents and purposes, the game's done. The public servers are shut down, so you can no longer just jump in. Now, look, I tried to play this for a live stream event a few weeks ago before Halloween, and it was the hardest thing in the world to find a match. I wanted to play for like an hour, and in that hour, I ended up playing it for like 20 minutes because I tried to find a match. It was like taking like 10 plus minutes, and I was like, okay, we've been sitting here in the live stream for 10 plus minutes and we haven't found a match. So I played other games, went back to it. It sucks. I mean, there's really no other way of saying it. This game, and I do mean it when I say like a beautiful disaster. This game, and not beautiful by the way because of like looks. This game is always gonna hold a special part in my heart. And I mean, again, I'm gonna tell you guys the reason. If you don't like that kind of sappy stuff, which is not really sappy, but if you guys don't like history lessons of the channel, you may want to tune out now. Basically, you got your news story. The game is finished, and we can all move on. But no, back in 2017, in that May, like leading into Friday the 13th, I was now this is Podcast Now Plus. I had Podcast Now back then. Very small channel, okay? I was covering Pirates of the Caribbean pretty heavily. That was like the main thing that got me pretty much all the subscribers that we had at that point, when this game came out. And I had covered games. I covered For Honor. I covered Horizon Zero Dawn. I was starting to come into what you guys know of the channels now, where I covered games. And I covered Friday the 13th, and I had a lot of faith that this game was going to be good leading into this game. When the game was talked about on Kind of Funny, like a year or so before the game released, and I heard, I was watching them at the time, and I was like, oh my god, like this game I'm not even a big Friday the 13th guy. I'm really not. I respect it, but I'm not really, I haven't seen all the movies. It's just not something that's all that important to me. But like the game sounded incredible, sounded just fun, flat out fun. And when the game came out, I played it, and I loved it. It has a special place in my heart because of what it did for the channel. Some of those videos I've made on Friday the 13th are literally some of the highest performing videos of all time on my channel. Hundreds and hundreds of thousands of views, even combined, even more. So, that obviously helped, and that got subscribers, that made a lot of money back. I mean, if that even matters, but, it did a lot of views. It brought a lot of new people to the channel, and that was insane. And then on a game perspective, I mean, that's where it gets messy, right? Because the game was, I think at its core, so much fun. And those first 3 to 4 months of this game, okay, were insane. They were so much fun. I played it nonstop. I got so good. I mean, I'm terrible at it now, but I was so unbelievably good back then. As Jason, I would get 8 out of 8, right? Because I would also kill Tommy. I'd get 8 out of 8 every single time. No problem. No problem. As the counselor, I would escape 9 out of 10 times easily. Again, no problem. I got so good. I loved the game so much. I would even talk sometimes with just the random people that were playing, right? It was incredible. It was incredible. And then the lawsuit and the inability to help this game out and the fact that just flat out IllFonic is not, I would say, the greatest developer on planet Earth. I don't think that's unfair to say. They had a chance without even, adding new stuff to the game, which obviously did hurt it and stopped it from growing and stopped it from staying around as long as I'm sure it could have. But they never fixed the core issues of this game, which were glitches and bugs, which was loading, which was servers, all of that stuff and that's where the beautiful disaster is this part. The game was so messed up. I mean, if you think about and someone like me, who again I covered it, I kind of, besides Pirates, I would almost argue I built my channel in 2017 around Friday the 13th. Okay, and at the time, a few months after the game came out, I had to stop. I stopped playing because I was like, you know what? I just can't. This game is getting just not good. They're not updating it, and the core issues of this game are still around. So again, it's always going to be a very mix. It's always going to be in my memory, right? Because again, I had some of the most fun multiplayer experiences, maybe just in general too, of my life in Friday the 13th. Really, I mean, some of the most laughs, some of the most tension-filled moments of all time, right? Or juking Jason, stuff like that. Again, even outside of playing it. So I played it for a lot. I played it a lot. But even outside of that, I mean, I watched every Ohm video. That actually, I feel got me into Ohm. I don't think I watched Ohm before that. That and then Dead by Daylight that I found out he did, later on. But Friday the 13th is a thing that, that got me watching Ohmwrecker, who a very, I really do appreciate him as a creator. He's one of my all-time favorites, and I hopefully always will be, right? And so, that's special, too. That's very, very special. And so we knew this was coming. Here we are 3.5 years after the game released. Again, it's very hard to find matches anymore in general. I really don't think there's all that many people playing it just, in the first place. So the game was already, for, pretty much all intents and purposes, dead anyway. But now is the final. Let's pull the plug, you know what I mean? And so it's the end of an era. It really is. It's the end of these memories of a game that, a very, very special game. A game that, at its core, was amazingly fun, had an amazing catch to it, right? I mean, just the idea of it. And it worked really well, but everything around it was, I would say, a disaster. The game did not look good at the time. The game did not run good at the time. The game had server issues. The game had 10, 15, 20-minute loading in order to get into a match, and they never went away. A lot of these issues, now some of them did, but a lot of these issues never went away. And that hurt. I would argue, and I have always again argued this, that hurt more than them not adding to it. If they would have given us, I'm sure they would have given us a couple more maps. That would have been fun. Obviously, they could have kept giving us new Jasons or whatever they would have planned. I remember, wasn't there? I mean, there was supposed to be a story element to it, which eventually became what we got, where you're Jason and you have to complete a couple objectives with the counselors. But that wasn't really a story. I think early on, from what I remember, there was talks of making it a more hardcore story experience. That never happened. So things like that obviously hurt the game. But in my opinion, I would say the biggest things that drove people away, at least early on, because once people leave early, then you only have the people that are left, and they're going to play it no matter what. But I think what drove people away early on was just crashes and bugs and glitches, and the fact that you could actually cheat the game and hide in places that Jason can never get to. Remember some of those ones? In fact, I actually made a video on that back in the day. So there were a lot of things like that, and then the fact that you could just never, people were playing the game, but you could never find a match because it would keep you loading for 20 minutes. It's the same problems that Predator Hunting Grounds had their day one, and they still have not necessarily fixed everything either. The common denominator is IllFonic, sadly to say. IllFonic is the creators behind both of them. Again, they're not perfect. They're not perfect, and they have a lot of weaknesses there, and I think it's shown in both of these games. But an end of an era. I'm sorry, Friday the 13th. You really do mean a lot to me. The game, not really the movies. They mean almost next to nothing to me. But the games, this game means a lot to me. And so it is sad to see it ending. With that being said, all good things must come to an end, right? That's a pretty big saying, and it couldn't be more true here. So let me know in the comments below, guys. What do you think? Are you sad? Are you disappointed? Do you still play it? Because I stopped a long time ago. I'll jump in here and every so often. I jumped in for Halloween this past year. I think I've done it actually every year, but besides that, I mainly don't play this game. So let me know your thoughts. As always, make sure you guys are subscribed, bell icon turned on, so you guys know when all these videos go up. And I do a brand new video on this channel every single day, and so I hope to see you guys for tomorrow's video.